Go.
Hey guys.
Show it to the camera, 30.
What? What are we doing?
We can't know what it is. And then you have to
Oh, show the gift to the camera. Shut up! Oh my god, I'm making a video. Oh, it's ThirtyVirus. He made a video. It's been a month and a half-ish since I've recorded anything. So, hi. It's been a little bit. I haven't uploaded a single video in 2024 until right now. So what happened? Well, I'm sure you can take a guess. Burnout, right? People have been quitting YouTube left and right. I'm not. I never plan to quit. I'm just gonna upload less if I get to the point where it's too much. Like this past 6 months or so. Anyways, hi. So I've had a very eventful January. Normally I wouldn't make a video like this, but it was so crazy that honestly I think you guys would like, nah, this is a terrible intro. I've been grinding Hypixel Skyblock pretty much constantly for the past year and a half. When I started my Iron Man profile, it was like July of 2022. And since then, I've accumulated like 4,200 hours playing the game and being a YouTuber and a streamer and a developer for certain projects. So it was too much. I had to step back. I had to clear my head, go visit the family, not play Skyblock for a little bit. Anyways, technically my January started around December 28th-ish. I got very sick. And by very sick, I mean the most sick I've ever been in my entire life. I got hit with this crazy thing. I don't know what the hell. I'm gonna try and make this fast because a lot happened. Imagine this, right? You wake up feeling like garbage. You feel cold. You're sweating. You have headaches. You have soreness all over. Oh great, I've got the flu, is what I thought. So I acted like I would if I had the flu. So, you know, I stayed in bed, drank a lot of water, took a bit of ibuprofen, you know, the typical crap. But then after about 3 days, suddenly nausea was thrown into the mix. And things just got worse as time went on, right? What started as, oh, I feel kind of crappy, skin's clammy. The next night became, wow, I can't sleep because I'm so incredibly cold and I wake up in a pool of my own sweat. So not only am I cold, but now I am soaking wet. And that's great. So I have to go from the bed to the beanbag chair, and then I get the beanbag chair soaking wet. So I go to... Then the nausea hits. And this nausea does not get better. As a matter of fact, it gets worse over time. So the fever symptoms started to chill out, and then the nausea got worse. It kept elevating, rising, to the point where I went to the urgent care because I thought something was seriously wrong. It got to the point where I would spend 3 hours lying in my standing shower trying not to throw up. And then eventually I forced it. Let's keep the details to a minimum. Let's just say a toothbrush was involved. Not fun. That didn't help my situation at all. Was still incredibly nauseous. Couldn't eat anything. So by like day 3 or 4, could not eat anymore pretty much. So I mean, I went like 3 days eating like a couple French fries, maybe like a Dorito. It was not good. There was like no food. I even got like a nice chicken sandwich, you know, fried, breaded. I got like ice cream and like, It got so bad that, you know, I went to the urgent care, got prescribed some stuff. Didn't help. I don't even know what it was. It was like the 2 most popular anti-nausea medications I got didn't do crap. Still felt absolutely freaking terrible. I, for a long time, thought that headaches are worse than stomach aches. Every single time. And I'm like, oh, I have an iron stomach. No. When you have bad nausea, like to the point where you're just at the edge of throwing up, but you can't for days on end. Oh, it was terrible. Anyways, finally, that started to chill the hell out. And around the time that it did, a cough came in. So I don't know what the hell this crazy sickness was. It's like the super flu. It's not COVID. I took a flu and COVID test. Oh, did I mention, by the way, I took a flu and COVID test when I went to the urgent care the first time. Spoilers. They were both negative. So what the hell is this thing? I don't know. And I'm like, okay, I haven't like eaten for like the nausea phase. I think I undersold it. Lasted a week. 7 days. I spent 7 days barely able to eat. I lost 10 pounds, and not in a good way. I just could not consume calories, and I was burning a ton of them because fever. So, yeah, not good. 10 pounds lost in a week is not a good thing. It's something that a lot of people want, but you really don't, because to be honest, most of that weight is probably either water weight, which comes back immediately, or muscle. Great. I have to go back to the gym. But when the nausea started to die down, finally, I could eat again. I start eating normal food. Wow, great. Until the cough started. Everything else goes away. Suddenly, throat scratchy, get that little itch, and then a little tickle in the throat. You cough, feels worse. Cough some more, feels worse. I try not to cough, and that is uncomfortable. And it gets to the point where I'm hacking up a lung, and it got to those really bad, like raspy, like your voice is dying. And then I suddenly have this feeling that something is in my throat and will not go down. Not the first time this has happened. Usually I make sure that I can at least, like, you know, swallow food still, breathe. That's a good one. But yeah, not a pleasant feeling if you've had it. So I decide, you know what? I'm gonna try and sleep it off. I can still breathe. This has happened at least 3 times now in my life. So I slept it off. Woke up in the morning, still felt like something was stuck there for about 9 hours. And then I decided, you know what? Let's go back to the urgent care. So visit number 2. And they tell me, oh, we don't have the equipment to put a camera down your throat. So we're going to have to send you to the emergency room. And then when I was like, is it really that serious? Do I have to go to the emergency room? Because I'm not stupid. I live in the United States. I'm scared of that bill that comes after the fact. So I really don't want to go to a hospital unless I absolutely have to. And then the nurse basically told me, well, you could not go to the ER, but you risk dying. If that piece of food scratches your throat, then you can get infected, and you could, you know, obviously it can go down the windpipe and you could choke and die. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to the ER, take my stuff, drive right across the street to the ER. I've never been in a hospital in my adult life. I didn't really know what to expect. Turns out it was 5 hours of waiting. I spent 5 hours sitting there playing Bloons Tower Defense on my phone. Finally, they call me out. They send me to this like room that's in between 2 parallel hallways. There's like a room here. It's like a utility. Like there's like 1 bed there, and it's like not really meant to be a room, but they were over capacity. So doctor talks to me for like 3 to 5 minutes, and he's like, well, what are your symptoms? I'm like, this and this. They send me in for a CAT scan of this region. Nothing comes up, of course. Most food wouldn't, except if it was a chicken bone. My theory was I had a chicken sandwich that previous night. Maybe there was a bone in there and that got stuck. Nothing showed up. So I sat in that, I would even call it like the waiting room that's not a waiting room, the extra utility room. I spent like 2 hours sitting there until finally I was like, you know what? If I could take a large bite of a sandwich, like a purposefully large bite of sandwich, and just swallow it whole, that should be proof enough that there's nothing in the back of my throat and I'm just crazy. So they give me a turkey sandwich. Hospitals have turkey sandwiches apparently. And sure enough, I take like 1/8 of the sandwich, I squish it into a ball, and then swallow. And then sure enough, it goes down on no event, nothing, whatever. I decide, you know what? I'm gonna leave. And it went away within 2 days. Apparently, all that coughing had irritated my throat in such a way that I could swear to you there was a piece of food in there, because every time I would try to, like, you know, smack my back, cough, it would like move a little bit, and then it like kind of goes back again. It like moves, and I'm like, okay, there's something in there. There wasn't. And as if the cough was the final middle finger from this illness, sure enough, a few days later, I look at the web portal for the hospital, and I got charged like $850 to wait in the waiting room for 5 hours, talk to a doctor for like a total of like 5 minutes, literally a total of 5 minutes across the whole visit. And I took up one of their extra rooms that they don't even normally use for 2 hours. And I had, oh, it's the most expensive turkey sandwich in my entire life. But anyways, so as you can imagine, me spending nearly $1,000 for a turkey sandwich, I need to make some money. So I actually have something that might help with that. This is the ThirtyVirus memory leak mouse pad. Isn't it beautiful? Look at that. Look at this thing. This is a limited time run for 1 month. You have until March 4th. It's less than a month. You have until March 4th to pre-order one of these. They are limited time stock, never gonna be available again. And honestly, it's probably the coolest thing I've ever sold. Like, ever. This is so freaking cool. But about Epic Desk, they make high quality mouse mats for YouTubers such as myself. And they have really high quality stuff. I've been using this mouse mat for like 2 months now. And it's thicker than I'm used to, but in a good way, if that makes sense. It's kind of like a built-in wrist rest. The mouse glides right across it. No mud to be found. The stitches are super high quality. I mean, you could see it in the product itself. And the print is so high quality. It's got that VHS thing going on where you can see the lines. It has like this blocky, like 3D rendered text on it. It is so cool. But anyways, yeah, I'm super happy with how it turned out. Like, it took forever to get the design going. Like, me and the artist went back and forth probably about 200 times, maybe 100 times, I'll say. This final look that we have is sick. And I'm a little sad that it's temporary, to be honest, because like, I'm buying an extra one for myself, but like once I'm out, that's it. I mean, the thing is, it's so high quality. I mean, it's gonna be years before I need a new mouse mat, but whatever, man. Anyways, get one if you can. The link's in the pinned comment and description. That would help me out a lot. Again, I paid $1,000 for a turkey sandwich. So like, that'd be great if I could get some of that back. No, but seriously, this is like the best mouse mat I've ever used. And I know I say that about most things that I receive in the mail, but like, seriously, I don't know. I just have a good string of luck lately with these companies. Like, this is sick. Like, I'm super happy with how it turned out. That's the sickness arc. This sickness it lasted 10 whole days. Again, no idea what the hell it was. I did some like, I tried to have ChatGPT be like a WebMD for me, and I described all my symptoms, and the best conclusion I can draw from that is that maybe it's a stomach flu. I didn't know there was like a separate flu that's specifically for the stomach. By far, the nausea was the worst thing. By far. I mean, by far the most painful for my wallet was the cough, leading me to think that something stuck in my throat. Anyways, that is finally over. And luckily, it ended 2 days before this crazy event that I was invited to. I got Squid Kid in my DMs, was like, hey, we have a bunch of YouTubers that are from like the Hypixel community, and we're all going to Orlando in like a few weeks. When he sent the message, those few weeks came due about 2 days after my sickness was over. So I'm like, hell yeah. I live in Tampa, which is like only an hour and a half away. So I get in my car once I'm asymptomatic, not transmissible anymore. Okay, I wasn't patient zero, didn't get anyone sick. Anyways, I drive on over to Orlando. I cannot describe to you how weird it is to talk to somebody on the internet for like 5 years. You know what they look like because, you know, they make videos and whatever. And then you actually see them. Some people I didn't know what they looked like. You see them in person. You hear the voice that you're familiar with, and you're like, you're connecting the dots. And then you shake their hand and it's like, holy crap, you're a real person with a life and like things that you do outside of your job. And it was bizarre. And you know, there were some characters, dude. You know, Time Dio, the Hypixel admin, he wore a Christmas hat the entire trip. I only saw him without it twice, and I'm pretty sure that was because he was required to, because he was on a roller coaster. Fire Breath Man, Sage Mommy, who isn't even in the Hypixel community. Am I wrong about that? Who does she know from the group? I don't know. She was chill too. Then there's obviously Stellic, me. We got a few guys that were not YouTubers, but are like in with the group. A lot of people knew that Squid Kid has a brother, right? I'm a Squid Kid, you know, the guy from Potato War. He has a YouTube channel and he uploads a lot to it. I'd recommend it. He makes some good stuff. He has an identical twin brother. I'm embarrassed to say that the first time that we met, like as a group, I was talking to his brother thinking it was Squid several times. It was kind of funny. Luckily, at no point did he correct me and say, oh, I'm not Squid, because I don't call people by their names in person, or at all, really. I just kind of talk to people without saying their name. So here's how things started. I recommended to Stellic, which is like the person, Hypixel YouTuber, everybody here was, except for like 2 guys. 2 guys and like 2 girls, maybe. Most people were from Hypixel is what I'll say. Stellic was organizing everything and was like, hey, we're doing a boat ride in Tampa. And I was like, hey, if you guys are going to be in the area, I'd recommend Sparkman's Wharf. It's a nice little place with a bunch of like food and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I could accommodate like 24 people. Did I mention there were like 24 people in the group? Yeah. I meet everybody at Sparkman's Wharf. And the funniest thing happened. Zyph and Tapel were just talking and they passed right by me. But granted, I've never seen these two in person before. So I was like looking at him like I've seen Zyph before. And I'm like, is that? And he's got this device in his hand that has 2 phones with Pokemon Go. And I'm like, that seems like something Zyph would have. I decide against walking up to them because I'm very shy in person. It's this weird thing with us YouTubers. We're perfectly fine having 1 million+ people see our faces on the internet, but the second you have to interact with someone in person, it's all over. I don't know. So then I message Squid Kid and I'm like, hey, I'm here. He sees me. He finds me. Luckily, I'm a person that uses face cam, so a bunch of people would recognize me right away. I shook hands with Squid Kid. He's tall. Most of these people are. I'm only 5'7". I was one of the shortest people there. And then sure enough, the guy that I thought was Zyph and the guy that I thought was Tapel were both those people. So I had this awkward, hey, I just saw you guys, but didn't approach because I didn't know if it was you. Yeah, we hung out there for a while. It was fun. Got to see all the different food places, the stores, whatever in the area. Went on the boat ride. And here's when we get to see all the media for this thing. I'm terrible at taking pictures and video, but luckily when you're in a group of 24 YouTubers, they just kind of do that. We went on this boat ride, pretty uneventful. It's pretty much your typical Florida boat ride. It's just a platform that doesn't even look like a boat. It's got rails and it just goes up the river or the coast and back down again, whatever. And then I decide, you know what? They're going to be in the area for like a week. I might as well just go with them to the Airbnb, pay back whatever the costs are for my portion. So I decide I'm going to go on this adventure with all my YouTuber friends that I just met in person. And I drive over to their Airbnb. And on the way, oh my God, dude. I'm not going to say who did it for legal reasons. I'm sure they wouldn't care, but I don't want to throw them under the bus and get them in trouble. We stopped at an IHOP at like 10 p.m., 11 p.m. It was getting dark. It's been dark. We went to this IHOP with like 20 people and completely overwhelmed them. There were like 2 people working there. I got mozzarella sticks. I wasn't that hungry. So it was pretty fun. Again, uneventful until it came time to pay the bill. One of the YouTubers noticed that while we were all going up to pay, again, we were completely flooding the place. So there was one guy having to swipe 20 credit cards. One of the YouTubers notices, hey, since we kind of came here late at night with this huge group and you see this table that has the posters on it that they put on the walls, like promotional IHOP posters. This unnamed YouTuber grabs 3 of them and takes them out the door, and not a single person notices except for me. They left the posters at the Airbnb and left. Take a guess who brought them home. Everybody had to get on a plane to leave, so like I was like, you know what, I would just take it with me. I just have pancake of the month. Woo, the fresh and fruity combo in the National Pancake Day, which, oh, that's in a few days. I'm not sponsored by IHOP. I, without exaggeration, went through about 6 months of vacationing in 5 days. We went to the world's biggest McDonald's, which apparently is in Orlando. I didn't know that. They got the big touch screens, and yeah, it's already happening, dude. People are getting their jobs replaced. And those screens showed something that is terrifying to me. It's doing the same thing those food delivery apps are doing, where it suggests extra crap for you to add to your order. And it's like, oh, this place is probably very, very profitable is all I'm gonna say. It was very nice. I think they bought like 10 Happy Meals trying to get the Grimace, like, plushie thing. One guy, oh, it was Tapel. You got a pizza? They have a pizza oven in that place and a fettuccine alfredo at a McDonald's. We also decided we were all gonna stop by the mall and each get a Secret Santa gift. So that night we were gonna do a Secret Santa. Everybody got gifts. Little did I know. See, me being like kind of a, for the most part, a normal person, I'd like to think, just got like some chocolates, you know. The rule was that it has to be $25 in value. You're not getting it for a specific person. You're just adding it to the pool of gifts. And for those that don't know, TLDR, everybody gets a number 1 through however many there are. Let's say 1 through 10, 1 through 20. And then in order, person number 1 goes and picks a gift from the pile. No one knows what's in any gift except for the one they got themselves. They pick the gift, and then number 2 gets to pick a gift, number 3, number 4, number 5, so on. But with the added rule that you can steal someone else's gift and then force them to get another one, whatever. And then items get locked after like 3. I did a video about this with a bunch of the people from this trip. I actually did a Skyblock gift exchange a few years ago with these people, if you want to click on the card in the corner. Anyways, little did I know that most of the people went to the back of a Spencer's to get their stuff for the gift exchange, is all I'm gonna say. Oh, and we did this golf thing too. I broke the club drive shack. Yeah, so we went there. It was basically a driving range, but with like some added screens and like little games you could play. I broke the thing. I did not hit the floor. It just broke on me. I swear. Oh, you can see a video of Rage Train here in the drive. I didn't know they even did that. He walked up to me when I first showed up and was like, "Hey, it's cool to see you here." And I'm like, "Hi. You? Oh, we gotta exchange usernames." And he's like, "Rage Train." And I'm like, "What? This is you in person?" Oh my god. I didn't know what he looked like. And I was like, "Oh my god, it's Rage Train." I was like congratulating him on making videos that were not Skyblock, and videos that were Skyblock worked for the mainstream, and we were talking like YouTube strategies and about like new channels and who knows, man. But yeah, I learned a bit from him on that one, and it was really cool. I don't know. Everyone in this group was so chill. It's exactly what you'd imagine, right? Everybody's friends with everybody. They just kind of, I don't know, they just want to have fun. And everybody's super friendly. And like some of these people I'd never met online even. And like I met them for the first time and they were super chill. And like, this is going to sound a little sad. The last time I actually felt this at home with a group was probably high school when I had my friend group from there. So you could probably imagine the post-trip depression that comes with everybody going home and it's like, oh yeah, I don't have a friend group in real life. Oh, and then added rule is that if you got an item of clothing, you had to wear it. Considering that half the people went to the back of a Spencer's, there's a lot of gifts that people just want to get rid of it. And I ended up with a gift that Zyph got, and it was Crocs that had the little things you stick in the holes, and it spelled out, "Can I riz you?" Which I ended up just giving to Estelle because they didn't even fit me, and they fit her perfectly. So I was just happy not to have to wear a phallic-looking fabric thing or a shirt that has a phrase on it that I'd rather not say out loud. This is weird because like I'm like a family-friendly YouTuber, but not because I want to be a family-friendly YouTuber. It's just because I'm too awkward to swear or talk about these things. I'm a very awkward person. So I look at this and I'm like, that's hilarious, but I can't describe what's happening. Oh, they got one of those rubber chickens that screams, and they waterlogged it. Oh, and there was this drinking game, dude. Hey, I'm gonna put the disclaimer out there. Obviously, if you're not the age of 21, you shouldn't be drinking and you shouldn't be taking gummies, but those are things that happened that night. Don't partake unless you're of age, okay? I'm not responsible. I'm not your dad at the same time. It messes with your head if you're not fully, if your brain isn't done cooking in the oven, you know what I mean? It's not done. If it's not done developing it. Anyways, so we're all being responsible, right? So if one cup reaches the second cup first, like let's say a bunch of people are just faster and someone's stuck and they just can't get it into the cup, then they get stacked and then they're forced to drink, and so then they take a new drink and then the other person gets passed on a stack of 2 cups, and then of course it gets to the point where all the cups, like 30 of them, are in one big stack and then there's one little single cup on the other side, and you have to really bounce it to get it in. Anyways, at the end, there is a cup with some nasty crap in it. Hot sauce, maple syrup, candies, cherries, gross combination of things, and that's the last cup. So whoever gets stacked on last has to drink out of the B-word cup. Oh, Squid got it twice. Rage got it twice. I think Tapel got it once. We called him Harvey the whole time. He was the only person we called by his real name. Oh, that's the other funny thing. When you're a bunch of YouTubers that only knew each other online until you started like hanging out in person, we call ourselves by our screen names, except for Harvey for some reason. But like, whenever people are trying to get my attention, to be like, "Yo, 30," I'd be like, I have a more extreme reaction to 30 than I do Brandon. I had to have someone drink for me because I don't drink. And then we went to Disney. That was sick. Maybe it's because I'm a 20-something with no kids, but like Disney's kind of underwhelming, to be completely honest with you. And like, the streaming service ain't great. The movies are definitely not great. I'm just saying, Disney, you gotta change some stuff, man. The best thing about your park was the Tron ride, which is what we did at the very end. And we got pouring rain. It was awful, awful rain. It was raining sideways to the point where if you spend 30 seconds out in the elements, you might as well have jumped in a pool. But anyways, We went on the Tron ride, actually fun. It had some pretty good acceleration. I actually felt the blood pump in there. That was cool. And then Hannah X Rose has entered the chat. I didn't know this was going to happen. We just randomly met her and it was like, whoa, hey, someone else I know from the internet. That, again, we've known each other for like probably like 4 years, 4 years at this point. We didn't talk much, you know. I mean, we have pretty separate content nowadays. Like, we both did Bed Wars at one point, and I think that's how we started talking. Well, we didn't even talk. We just followed each other on Twitter, and then, like, I think at the time congratulated each other on cool looking cosmetics that we had in Badlight Client. Like, that was about it. But there was Hannah Rose, and then I was like, oh, what's up? And then she didn't know who I was because I didn't do face cam back in the day. And I was like, oh, I'm ThirtyVirus, and she had an equally like, what reaction, which is super cool. So we went back to the Airbnb after that. Disney was kind of, but the next day we went to Universal, and that's when I actually got impressed. The best roller coaster I've ever been on is tied between that, like, Hogwarts one. There's a roller coaster where you're riding on Hagrid's, like, magic motorcycle. And, oh my god, that was sick. No spoilers, but it goes fast. And there's a lot of unexpected crap, too. 10 out of 10 ride. And it's tied between that and the Jurassic World one. It was like the Velocicoaster. It felt like what I can only imagine. I've never been in a Tesla. What I can imagine, like, ludicrous mode on a Tesla feels like, where you're just thrown back from the G-forces. There were like 4 different times in that ride when it did that, and I freaking loved it. And there was this loop that was like right above the water. Like, you would go on this loop, and then your head upside down would be like this close to the water. That night we went to this restaurant, I think it was called Cowfish, and their whole shtick is that they have this character that's the cowfish, and apparently it's a real animal. It's yellow, it's got like these horns on it. And we go to a fancy restaurant. This is a fancy restaurant. You're probably thinking, oh boy, easy $30 a person minimum, because we're at an amusement park. Me and Zyfe had this was my idea. I'm taking full credit. Zyfe is sitting next to me. Every item on the it's pretty expensive. If I were to order, it was like this peanut butter, fried banana, and bacon quadruple burger on a brioche bun. That's like something Matt Stoney would eat for a challenge. And it was like 25 bucks. It was one of the most expensive, like, regular things on the menu other than the seafood, because then it gets to market prices, which can go up to like 100 plus a person. But anyways, I get this massive burger on the condition that Zyfe doesn't get anything, and then we just get a second bun because he has a sensitivity to butter, so brioche wouldn't work. So we got a normal bun for him. I just give him half of my sandwich. So it's like, oh, we'll take 2 patties, put them here. We'll take, oh, here's some of the fried bananas, some of the bacon and the peanut butter, and just made a separate burger. Neither of us could finish it for $13 a person. Big brain. People are gonna be like, wow, bro, you ate a burger. That is so crazy. We also got butterbeer. We got to try butterbeer. I actually really liked the presentation. They had this like funny thing, like a wand selection, I don't even know what to call it, experience, where we all get pulled into Ollivander's, I think was the name of the place, and then it's like pulled someone from the crowd. Ah, you are an upcoming wizard. Let's pick a wand for you. And then they go through this whole thing where it's like, oh, this one's bad, this one's bad, like things start going wrong, and then he finds the correct one, and it was like a scene out of the movie. I felt like I was literally in Harry Potter, because like the effects were actually pretty convincing, and the character was great. Oh, we went on the Hulk too. That's my 3rd favorite roller coaster. I've actually been on that one, but like 12 years ago, so I don't remember much of the first time, but man, it's still great. And I also find it funny that like all the licensing for the Hulk ride is like the original Hulk, like the bad CGI one, and not the Marvel one. I don't know why I agreed to this. I went on a water ride with no spare socks, no spare shoes. I'm just wearing what I'm wearing. I go on a water ride, I get absolutely freaking drenched. This happened in the morning, by the way. So at the end of the Universal trip, it was just turning dark. Everything's about to close. They decided to go on the water ride again. I did not. I did not. And I thought it was very funny when they came back and were absolutely drenched, and they wasted like $21 on this stupid heating booth that did not work. And then Zyfe bought a Minions jacket. I'm gonna lay out the scene here for you. Imagine you have a group of 8 YouTubers that are a part of a bigger group of 20 YouTubers. They pull up to the Waffle House at 3 in the morning. We are so out of it, all of us. But at the same time, I've never had a better munchie session in my entire life. That night was the best meal I had ever consumed. And it was a great value too. For like 13 bucks, you get like, you get 2 eggs, 2 slices of toast, breakfast sausage, waffle, hash browns. It was a lot. It was like literally almost 2,500 calories worth of food for like $13. And I somehow managed to eat all of it despite having 3 meals already that day. But then we went to an escape room. That was sick. And at this point, I should point out that the group did split into subgroups because some of these activities were too small to have 20 people just walk in like an escape room. So we did like, I think it was like 5 or 6 people in that one. That was a lot of fun. I actually felt like I contributed unlike my first time. So that was cool. And then we went to this arcade. I got to play Beat Saber and impress everybody. I was flexing a little bit, you know, I was showing off the Beat Saber skills. And I actually got 2nd place for the weekly leaderboard on my first try. So hey, I'll take that W, dude. I'm pretty happy with my Beat Saber performance. Oh, and Harvey brought a Polaroid camera with him. So some of these pictures you might notice are taken on Polaroid, and I actually have them in person, a few of them, which is cool. It was such a fun trip. And then towards the end, me and Squid's brother ended up spending the day together because everybody else had their flight like in the morning, and I had my car, so I could stay as long as I wanted. And I didn't want to have Squid's brother just by himself for a whole day because his flight was late. So we just chilled out. We went to Gatorland, so that was cool. We found some pigeons. We found some parrots that could talk. That was cool. Oh yeah, Andre was super chill too. He was one of the guys that I met for the first time. He's also a content creator, but I just never seen him before. That brings us to about halfway through January. I know everything from this point forward wasn't nearly as crazy. The thing is, right, I'm gonna make this real quick because it's kind of personal. So yeah, me being sick for 10 days, being in bed, not playing video games, not recording, not working, really gave me some time to think, a lot of time to think. And then especially immediately going on this crazy YouTuber adventure with a bunch of people that I really have fun with, really had a good time with, super compatible. It really made me realize I want a lot more from life. And I really need to start like actually doing things instead of just being inside all day. So I'm making a point to actually go out and do stuff. Turns out a bunch of these YouTubers, like I'd say probably like 5 of them, actually live in the state of Florida. Not gonna say which ones, but some of them. And we've gotten to talking, and we might set up a group where we go and do stuff on a regular basis. That'd be sick. Real life interactions, hell yeah. But also, the other thing I did realize is I've been letting work get to me too much. Hence the unannounced month-and-a-half long break. The burnout hit so bad to the point where I just couldn't address anything in my life that's not YouTube related. And I made a lot of choices that I probably wouldn't have made if I wasn't so extremely burnt out and focused on work and not everything else happening around me. And I realized that my relationship at the time had gone on too long. I let it die, and I decided to end that. Before anyone says anything, she's a great person. We did really connect for a while there, and we had no arguments. It was really like uneventful, honestly. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. This is my fault, if anything, because I'm so work focused. So I'm going forward going to put a bit more emphasis into that sort of stuff, like interacting with humans, being social. But I let that one die to the point where, I mean, it's something I should have been, I've been thinking about it by that point for probably about 2 months, but really, especially when I was sitting there sick, I was like, yeah, okay. I don't want to waste this person's time. She deserves better than what I have to offer currently. You know, so I decided to end it. It was very sad. And long story short, that's done. So again, no ill will towards her. I think she's a great person. She deserves the best, better than me, to be honest. But there you go. So then I just, I hate to say it, went back to Skyblock. For 2 weeks, I grinded this stupid game again. I swear, dude. The only reason I got a break is because I was too sick to play and then was out of the house for a week. So, I don't know, man. I need to figure something out with Skyblock, dude. Because, like, playing the game takes so many hours. I love making videos. I really do. But, man, playing that game for that many hours is not healthy. Like, 100, 200 hours to make one video is not normal. But I'll figure something out with that. Maybe some more content that's not related to gaming. Or not gaming, but Minecraft or Skyblock. But anyways, that was my January. Oh, and I also coded some stuff too. King's SMP Season 2 is happening. I know this is out of left field coming from ThirtyVirus, but I'm coding an SMP. I'm the guy. I'm the dev. And it's really cool, actually. I've been scrubbing through some VODs, and people are like, whoa, that's so cool. And others are like, oh, this sucks. And I'm like, I should probably fix that. But anyways, that was my January, dude. Holy crap. A lot of life happened. A lot of good, a lot of bad, a lot of ugly. I didn't mention in the video, but a really close family friend did die. I didn't want to make a big point of that, especially early in the video, to bring the mood down. Send your best wishes in the comments for my mom, because she's going through a really tough time right now. And he was a good guy, the one we lost. Anyways, not to drag things down, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm back. I'm gonna start making videos again. Hopefully minimum once every 5 days, maybe more often if I have more stuff, who knows. If you want to see some programming content, I can make plenty of that. I am skilled at doing that. If anything, I'd love to do that, because it's actually something that I can do instead of waiting 6 months for an update in Skyblock and then spending 200 hours to make a video on it. Anyways, if I remember anything else, I'm going to make a second recording for Fezzy to insert little things, because it's a very eventful month. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's been a long one. Anyways, I guess that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys later.